Mpse001 Important Questions for 2022 Exams. Mpse 1 India and the World. Briefly explain the determinants of Indian foreign policy. Domestic determinants of Indian foreign policy. Impact of social movements in shaping Indian foreign policy. Factors contributing to the making of Indian foreign policy. Salient features of India's foreign policy. Explain the Nehruvian consensus. Explain the Nehruvian consensus on India's foreign policy. Comment on absence of any imperialist tradition in India's worldview. Comment on absence of any imperialist tradition in India's worldview. Examine problems in working of National Security Council NSC. What is the role of Ministry of External Affairs in making of Indian foreign policy? Role of National Security Council in India's foreign policy. How did Indo-Russian relations change in the post-Cold War era? Write a note on SARC. India's external relations with Asian countries. India's relations with Asian countries. India's relation with key European countries. India's relation with European Union. Short notes on the following topics. Pokhran 2. Indian diaspora. National security. Critically examine role of media in shaping India's foreign policy. Media and foreign policy. Kyoto Protocol. Importance of Kyoto Meet on Climate Change. BIMSTEC. European Union. India-Latin American relations. India's civil nuclear agreements. India and East Asian Community. Impact of FDI on India. India and United Nations. BRICS objectives and activities. Indian interest in Central Asia. Nuclear test of 1974. Role of parliamentary committees in foreign policy making. Features of South Asian regional state system. Examine India's position on NPT. Critically examine nature of India-US relations in post-Cold War years. Comment on nature of India-US relations in post-Cold War years. Discuss India's relation with the USA in the post-Cold War era. India-US political and economic relationship. How do political parties contribute to India's foreign policy making? Answer with examples. India's stand on crisis in West Asia. What is crisis management? Explain international terrorism and India's preparedness to check the same. What is humanitarian intervention? Comment on post-communist societies. Examine the role and contribution of NGOs in the United Nations. Finding this information informative and helpful, then please like. Examine the role of international non-governmental organizations in promoting and protecting human rights within UN system. What are the powers and functions of the PMO? Describe. Assess India's economic liberalization and privatization programs. How does India view and respond to the West Asian situation? How does India respond to world affairs? Explain with example. Assess India's record in honoring human rights. An essay on India Japan relations in post Cold War years. Explain how the interdependence approach to studying India's foreign policy differs from the realist approach. Nature of India-Africa relations during Cold War period. Economic political relations between India and South Africa. What do you understand by Look East policy? How does it benefit India? Discuss the Kashmir factor in Indo-Pak relations. Critically examine India's policy on Palestine. Finding this video helpful, then please like. Critically examine India's policy on Palestine. India's policy of trade and investment discuss. Don't forget to like. Explain the need and prospects of India joining a UNSC as a permanent member. Explain the need and prospects for India joining UNSC as a permanent member. Assess Indo-Canadian relations. How has India taken advantage of globalization? Explain. Salient features of India's disarmament policy. Notes on the following topics. Post communist societies, SARC, cultural dimension of Indo Latin American relations, areas of discord in India Africa relations, India China relationship in post Cold War period, non alignment, nuclear equation between India and Pakistan, Panchsheel, India and PKO, peacekeeping organizations, challenges to maritime security, India China border problems, India and Gulf Cooperation Council GCC, Indo Soviet Treaty of Peace and Friendship, New World Order, West Asia's geostrategic situation, feature of South Asian regional state system, India's disarmament initiatives, India's security and economic interests in Southeast Asia. Please like this video.